This is a 53 square meter house extension built here in Silverstream. Coming up, we'll show you footage of the extension from start to finish. I'll break down the floor plan and stick around to the end of the video where we will show you the end result of the job where we handed it over to the client. So I met the client here a couple of months ago. They were referred to us and he already had consent in place. Where we're standing here, there used to be a carport, there used to be a little lean-to here. When we got here, the Skyline garage had been built. They needed to move a bunch of stuff from the areas we were demolishing to the new garage and clear a lot of this area. Our client did that over the Christmas break. We came in, first job of the new year was remove some asbestos. We used a specialist who does a report for us, and they then come in and they clear all the asbestos safely. Then we could carry on with normal demolition. Very quickly the site is cleared. Next thing we do is excavation and getting rid of all of that excess dirt, moving it around, filling up some areas, cutting out some other areas. So once we'd established an acceptable finished ground level, we could then mark out the four corners of the building. We can then use our set out string lines to mark out where all the piles are going. We have to get a digger driver back and he drilled down into good ground. From memory here is about 2 meters. We then get those holes inspected by the engineer. Once they've passed their inspection, we can put piles in the holes, we brace up the piles, we fill the holes with concrete. Now we're ready to start being builders. You can see here we're going to use mainly 140 by 45 joists. They are also on 140 by 90 bearers. Top tip for beginners, a 140 by 90 is just two 140 by 45s stitched together. Along this line, A3 is a level change, and this is to tie in the new floor level with the old house floor level. We think it's good practice to put polythene down. This keeps the area nice and tidy to work on, but also protects rising damp coming up from the ground into the floor later on. In here you can see that we've put in a triple joist, and this is to carry not only the weight of the sliding door, but the framing, lintel and roof weight above that unit. Over Christmas we also got this measured up and in the system so that we knew when we came here in January and we ripped this down, the opening would be ready to slot a new door straight into. And to finish off the timber floor, we lay flooring sheets. We usually use a product such as Strand Floor, making sure that it's H3 treated in the wet areas. The flooring sheets go down in no time and really complete the foundation stage. This is a great milestone. We now have a clean, flat surface to work on. As well as building the timber subfloor, we are also building our subs. Go ahead, click subscribe, help us hit our goal of 100K. Smoker this morning, frames arrived. Even though this is only a 53 square meter job, it's still more cost effective and more efficient for us to use pre-nail frames. So they get made in a factory. Watch that video here if you haven't already, and then they come to site as a pack. One of the first things we do is we establish grid lines around the perimeter of the building, and these become a reference point to make sure that as we stand all of our frames, they are all ending up nice and straight. Now that the frames are going up, this would be the perfect time to have a look at the floor plan. The new extension is getting access through the old hallway here. We have to build an opening in the wall here. The old laundry was in the lean-to here. New laundry is in the end of the hallway here on the left. I really like here how you have two glass doors, one to the left, one to the right. Makes it really easy to access both the future outdoor living areas and the garage. We also have two internal sliders here which help you close off these areas. On your way up to the family room, we have a linen cupboard here on the right. Up 2 steps, we're now in the family room. Nice big window on the right and nice large sliding doors on the left. And leading on to the back, the 2 extra bedrooms that we've added. Both bedrooms have a large wardrobe and a huge high ceiling to give you that sense of space. So we're turning a 2-bedroom house into a 4-bedroom house, but we're also adding a second living, basically making the most of this great area and this great site and really utilizing the space this client has. You can see on this roof framing plan here, we have this large angle here. Nice big covered area. This area will step out to a large deck that then also ties in with the French doors that we built off the existing dining room. One of the cool things about this build here was that it is not pre-nail roof trusses, but a rafter system. If you use roof trusses, they have to be made in a pre-nail factory, but as a builder, you're also allowed to do all of your own roof framing on site if it follows the roofing tables in 3604. Now on this job here, that was the case. Now in the lounge area, we have one big ridge beam here, and then the rest of the rafters are sitting on the roof framing here. This created a nice 25-degree angle on the internal ceilings and gave the rooms a really high stud and a nice sense of space. You can see here we put the roof strapping in as per normal, and we also then finish it off with purlins and blocking around the entire perimeter. We could crack on with wrapping the building. Given that this was a small job and a simple gable, we installed the roofing ourselves. We also then went straight on to doing the metal work on the sides of the building. Because the metal sheets are running vertically, we need to run our cavity battens horizontally. You can see in this photo here that the sheets run all the way up to the roof, and then there's a nice neat flashing that comes over the edge instead of a fascia. In theory, cladding with metal is supposed to be more economical. You're using a more value for money product that is pre-painted and finished. But in reality, there is lots and lots of tricky details. If you have a straight wall with no windows, it flies up. Every other wall had either an angle or multiple openings. Long story short, metal cladding is very labor intensive, lots of extra work. The other thing to remember with metal cladding is because it is a finished product and you install it early on in the build, you need to protect it for the rest of the build from dings and scrapes and scratches. Really easy to damage. In saying all that, the boys did an awesome job and the end result looks sharp and it's exactly what the client wanted. Now that the cladding has gone up, we can move on with finishing the inside. We get on with a pre-pipe and a pre-wire, and insulation goes in the wall. We can now put in all of our internal door units. Once that's all been inspected by the council, we can put jib on the walls and crack on with the lining phase. Before the plasterer comes in, we need to get the council back to inspect the jib and make sure it's been screwed off as per the bracing plans. And on this particular job here, we have agreed to stop at this point and the client takes over the build. Being reasonably handy, he has opted to do the painting and plastering himself and push the build to the finish line. We're really proud of the finished result, and we loved being a part of kicking this project off. It's awesome to be doing a new build in a backyard, taking a 100-year-old home and giving it another 100 years of life.